Welcome to my World War I museum. Today I will introduce you some facts about the World War I and some interesting things about it. Let's go inside and have a look. The first thing in front of you is about the assassinations of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary on June 28, 1914. In Jarasovo by a member of the Serbian nationalist group is widely regarded as the spark that ignited World War I. The assassinations triggered a chain reaction of political and military alliances. The assassinations thus acted as a catalyst that set in motion the complex web of alliances and tensions leading to the outbreak of the Great War. Now, this showroom is about MAIN, which stands for militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. We all know the Great War, also known as the World War I, is a culmination of a complex interplay of militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism that shapes the geopolitical landscape of early 20th century in Europe. Militarism fostered the culture that encouraged people to reach goals with forces and strong military power. Alliances rapidly escalated the localized conflicts into a bigger scale of war and the complex network formed by groups of countries. Imperialism triggered more competitions and misguided leaders that made them associate power with winning war, and the invasions replaced pursuing peace. Nationalism gave people strong sense of national pride and saw this duty to expand power by their country. Now, the next showroom I'm gonna show you is about the British enlist propagandas. The enlist propaganda reveals a great deal about how society used manipulations to shape beliefs, identities, and behaviors, particularly in relation to war, nationalism, and military service. It often appeals to emotions like loyalty, fear, and guilt, framing military service as a noble act of a necessary response to national threats. It also glorified war, representing combat as a path to personal honors while downplaying its horrors, which helps normalize militarization and the use of violence as a legitimate tool of state power. Propaganda frequently targets young people, especially men, appealing to their sense of adventure, masculinity, and desire for recognition. It also reinforces the social and cultural values of duty, sacrifice, and obedience, transforming individuals into soldiers who identify more with the military course than with their personal desires. In this way, enlist propaganda not only enlists soldiers but also consolidates power, strengthens nationalistic sentiments, and maintains social control, reviewing the broader psychological, cultural, and political forces and work behind the military industrial complex. The next showroom is about the end of the World War I, also known as Armistice. The Armistice of 1918, signed on November 11th, ended World War I after Germany's military was weakened by relentless Allied offensives, internal unrest, and the collapse of its allies. With no capacity to continue, Germany agreed to cease fighting of the war. The armistice required Germany to withdraw from occupied territories and disarm, marking the end of combat on the Western Front. In this showroom, you will learn more about that. But the more important things about this end of the war is the tragic facts that 2,738 soldiers were killed in the final hours before the ceasefire took effect. The precise number is difficult to determine as records from the chaotic final hours are incomplete, but the loss of life in the last moments of the war highlights the brutal reality that even as peace was being negotiated, thousands were still dying. This last minute loss underscored the senselessness of war, where even a treaty or armistice could not save soldiers from the violence until the very moment of the guns fell silent. In this showroom is about it. And here is a famous plan from a German German court named Schlieffen. This Schlieffen Plan was a German military strategy designed to avoid a two-front war in World War I, which prevented opposing forces encounter on two geographically separate fronts. The plan underestimated Belgian resistance, which delayed the German advance and allowed the France and Britain to mobilize. It also triggered the involvement of the Britain. And this showroom is about the damage of the trench that brought to the soldiers during World War One. It brought immense suffering to soldiers, leaving deep physical, emotional, and psychological scars. The brutal and prolonged nature of a conflict subjected soldiers to unimaginable hardships, from constant exposure to violence and death to the grueling conditions of trench warfare. Even after the war ended, many soldiers carried lifelong burdens, and the traumatic experience of battle had lasting effect on their health and well-being. This portrait of a man in front of you is a famous British general named Douglas Haig, often referred to as the Butcher of the Somme. Known for his aggressive tactics and commitment to large-scale offensives. He oversaw some of the world's bloodiest battles, including the Battle of Somme in 1916, which resulted in massive casualties with little strategic gone. His leadership's often criticized for being stubborn and out of touch with the realities of modern warfare, led to heavy losses. This earned him a controversial reputation. The last showroom we are gonna visit is about the women's roles during World War One. During World War One, women played a crucial role on the home front and in support of the military effort. As men went off to fight, women filled jobs traditionally reserved for men, working in factories as nurses and in administrative roles. Many served as nurses on the front lines with organizations the Vector, the VADs, while others contributes to the war effort by producing bombs, working in agriculture, culture, and supporting war-related industries. Women's contributions were vital to sustaining the war effort, and their involvement helped pave the way for greater social and political change, including the extension of voting rights in several countries after the war. Okay, our trip is over. Thank you.